What is correct, everyone? It is Renus coming back at you with some Zenless Zone Zero this time. Figure I might as well do a little bit of coverage now since I'm feeling a little motivated again to play this game. So we're going to be taking a look at Dialyn today. It's more of first impressions than anything because I'll just show where we're at right now. So she's level 60, her crit rate needs to be at 100% to max out her core passive, but we're not there yet. Also, this is what her skills are looking like. Not really that good, but again, it's first impressions. I'm not going to speak with factual information. Well, I'm not going to speak for her best abilities because we are not seeing them yet. So if you take a look over here, if your initial crit rate raises past 50%, her impact increases by 1.5 for each additional 1% up to an increase of 100. So this means basically that if it hits 100%, then she gets all this. Well, actually, I guess it'd be 2 maxed out, so yeah, we'll look at it like this, actually. So pretty much she's very focused around her EX special attack to get some daze going, get some stun. And then once she gets up to a certain level, usually it's her bar, then she can launch basically a guaranteed chain attack. They don't even have to be stunned, by the way. And what this does is pretty much it just gives whoever it is a freaking free ult. Really good. Really, really good. I'll show a little bit later why I feel like she is honestly probably the best stun character in this game. She does a really good job at stunning, and she's not even really maxed out yet. I haven't even spec'd into her perfectly, and she's already working in a competitive manner. So I just got this maxed out. So this is a good, I don't know if I want to say free-to-play option because it's a 5-star and not everybody's gonna have it, but this is something that you can use for her. The off-field doesn't matter too much, but I mean kind of how she is seemingly from what I can understand so far is that you use her EX special, get that gone, and then switch her off and then go back to your main DPS, maybe swap off to your support too. So this actually ended up being a good engine for her, which is good. I suppose I'll take a look at what her actual engine does for her though, since we actually have not taken a look at that quite yet. First we'll look at her little animations that you get with her engine active. I like it. I think on rerun we'll probably pull for this because I do like using her quite a bit so far. Okay, so let's see what this does. So pretty much while off field. Oh, okay, this is an amazing thing for her then if she's talking about being off field here. Okay. I think it's because she's a spam your EX skill and then dip kind of characters is what I'm understanding so far. So while off field, equippers regen energy. I said that backwards. Energy regen increases by 1.5 per second. When the equipper deals physical damage with an EX special, the days dealt by the equipper's attacks increase by 9% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 3 times, so that'd be 27% extra days, which is pretty freaking good. And then at all 3 stacks, all squad members gain an additional 30% crit damage for 40 seconds. That's a long time. Wow. Repeater triggers reset the duration, and only one instance of this crit boost can be active in the same squad. So I believe this is to stop you to doing something maybe like for Hugo where he wants a double stunner. That said, it's physical damage, so that doesn't necessarily help. Well, let's take a peek at her at the stuns actually, physical stunner specifically. I mean, you could use both of these with Hugo. I don't really know how good it would be for him, but that's probably that engine having that specification is probably for something like that to not happen. Alright, let's go take a peek what else she's got. So her relics are not really that good, honestly, or her drive discs rather, as you guys will see. I haven't really I mean, I burned all of the extra gold discs that I had, and we didn't really get that much. The only okay one is the... Well, I mean, the only reason this is good is because of the main stat being crit rate. Anything else in here is not really that good. But I've got her on the Jufufu set. And then with the 2-piece woodpecker for the extra crit rate. That's what most everyone else is using, as you guys will see. Then I did get her main stats that she does want, so energy regen on the slot, I believe at slot 6. Slot 5 we got physical damage bonus, but you can also work percent attack. My main thing here is I would say go for whichever, if let's say you happen to have both somehow, go for whichever one has the higher crit rate roll, because she wants to be as high as possible on her crit rate, so again 100%. Oh, I suppose I didn't actually check what her engines... Okay, so it's crit rate for... Yeah, that makes sense. It's crit rate for her main stat on the engine. Yeah, so she definitely does want to have it, but what character doesn't? I think she'll do us well. Well, I have proof that she's done well for us so far. I'll show Deadly Assault in a moment. But she's done us quite well there. As for the rest of her kit, I mean, you know, it's just the basic stuff. I think I'll probably show some gameplay of the Deadly Assault that I did earlier, just so you guys can see, and I'll probably voice over it. I'm thinking I will. Probably. But pretty much her loop, from what I can understand so far, is you spam her EX special when you have energy, get her bar up, and then once you have the bar, you hold your basic attack, and then that triggers that state where you can do that ultimate damage. Not ultimate damage, you get that extra ultimate on whoever. Yeah, I believe it can actually be her. I believe it can. I haven't figured that segment out yet, because it's also like, why would you want to use it on her most of the time if you can use it on your DPS? So, I mean, if you guys do want to read this, feel free to pause. But it's pretty much just standard for most everyone else. Then I believe her ult's used for extra stunning, which, you know, would make sense. Yeah, okay, after you use her ult, you can immediately follow up with the 4th hit, Happy to be of service, which is invulnerability. Yeah. I do love her design, man. It's so funny because you see all these other characters, right? Everyone else is like fairly taller, and then you just see her and she's a little small one. I do think we'll be covering her pretty soon in depth once I figure out... Well, we'll see what the relics look like. I can only do so much. Or discs, rather. But I do think we're getting pretty close to actually doing a review. I just gotta read over her kit one more time just to be certain that I have everything set correctly in my brain. That way I know how to play her for some other stuff. But let's move onwards to Scout Outpost. Scout Scott. Wow, I cannot talk right now. Let's go to Deadly Assault. So I did this run earlier. I think I'll probably add a little segment in later where I talk about the Deadly Assault. But as you guys see, I'll show the builds for what this was as well, add those in. But you guys see right here, this was the lineup we had. And we hit 18.7k. Pretty good. Alrighty, so here we are for the little Deadly Assault run that I did. So pretty much your goal with Dialyn is you're going to keep using her EX special until you fill up that bar at the top. And once you get that little dot, I'll show it in a minute when we get there. Once you get that dot, you get to use her basic attack, and that lets one of your allies get a free ultimate. I believe you can use this for her as well, for Dialyn herself, but... Okay, so... Hold on. Let me loop back around to it. Alright, so right here with my cursor. As you use her EX special, it'll fill up this bar. And then once, at a certain point, I believe it's this little point right here, it'll give you that dot. And once you have that dot, you hold your basic attack, and then you get to use that free ultimate. Like I said, I'm pretty sure you can use it for Dialyn herself, but I have to do some more testing on that. I am not quite certain right now. But at the bare minimum, you get to use a free ultimate on either your DPS or your other support, which, like, we're not gonna call that bad, are we? I don't think we do. I think we call that really freaking good. Also to say, I do love Dialyn's animations. They're very fun. So we're just going off of Yishuin. Then I believe I was trying to go for a stun here. That's why I haven't used any of the ults yet. I was trying to save them. Also, like I said, I haven't done Deadly Assault in a little while, so I'm a little rusty on my skills. Trying for the stun window right now, I believe. Yeah, I use the ult in order to prepare for that. This low-key was a misplay. I didn't need to do that. I honestly really didn't do anything. I should have just held it for the actual stun itself. Or for the active stunning. Alright, so now we're doing our chain attacks. Ending on Dialyn because I wanted to show it. Okay, then I'll pause it. So right there. When she does that little clap, that's when you know that you are able to use your free ults. What just happened? Hold on, let me back up. Okay, yeah, we ulted, so clearly. What is it doing? Why is... Okay, I don't know what that was about, but... Let's go back. Trying to time it so you guys can see the little effect, but there should be like little stars on either side. There should be stars on either side. And then you get to pop whatever ult. So one thing interesting here is it picked Yishuin's damage ult, not her technique ult. Which I thought was interesting. And then we get to use her technique ult, and then we just get to use her second damage ult because, you know, Dialyn lets you do that. Kind of ridiculous if you ask me. You guys will see the builds later. This was a very crazy as a run to me because we almost got 20k and the builds are like not good, man. You guys will see them later. I'll put it in a little bit later. For now, we're just trying to get the miasma down. One thing as well is I didn't really bother to learn a lot of the bosses of this version that well. Again, this version has kind of been up and down for me, sadly, whereas I genuinely just enjoyed doing this as a whole. See, like I kind of stalled out there for some reason. Don't know why I did that. So I'm a little bit unresponsive at some of this, but it's fine. Should have I should have the stun window, didn't do that. So I'm already seeing misplays. There's that other free ult. Another thing I will note, it is the case where when you use that forced stun window, or chain attack window rather, once you use that forced chain attack window, it only counts for either of the ults that you pick. You're not the enemy's not actually stunned, so it just does one of them. However, if for whatever reason you wanted to start a stun window with the Dialyn ult, you can do that. Or like, you know, the ult that she gives. You can start the stun window with that, and then you can feed into the normal stun window and then keep going based off that. So it's very dependent on how you want to play your rotations out, but you easily could do like that. Yep, there's our Yishuin ult. Yeah, and then the run's basically done at this point, but honestly do think I probably could have got 20k here had I tried a little harder. Or, maybe not tried a little harder, if I was focused up a little more. Get a little nice wipeout screen as well. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to show for that little deadly assault that I was doing. I'll probably pin it right after this actually, where I talk about their builds a little bit. They're not impressive by any means, that's why I was impressed that we were able to hit this number. Alrighty, so here we are with the builds for that deadly assault run. Just want to preface, these were not good builds. Like, as you see, let me back it up a smidge. Lucia doesn't even have her full core passive up. She didn't even have that done. And these aren't leveled up to 11 as well. I like to get it up to 11 generally speaking, because I don't always have the resources for 12, so I like to get it up to 11. But you guys can see we don't even have her core passive done fully. And she didn't have a single disc on her. Obviously, yes, I should have had them on her, but for some reason, I didn't have them on them. Didn't have them on there. I don't know why, but I didn't. And then, as you can see, her engine is a little low on the leveling. It's just like, 30. It's not exactly high. But yeah, Dialyn herself, her engine was not maxed out at this point, and then her discs were just okay, honestly. Like I keep saying, you want to get her crit rate up to 100%, so any way you can get crit rate is by far the best thing for you to do. But we gave her Jufufu set and then 2 piece of, what's this one called? Woodpecker, I think? I think it's called Woodpecker. But you guys can see it right there. Yeah. Her core passive had 1. Her core passive had 1 out of 6. And you guys see the levels. So, again, I know I'm not the best Zenless player ever of all time because I just haven't played Sweaty in a while. Well, not even Sweaty, I just haven't played seriously. But you guys see, like, this wasn't really, like, good. These builds were not good and we were able to hit 18k. You see, she had 61% crit rate as well. Right there. And then I believe you showed Yishuin, I was trying to find her. Yeah. I'm sure this is a little horrific for the crit damage or whatever, but we're working on her relics. Her actual stuff is set up properly though in terms of this. And then I have an off engine here for the crit rate. And then these are the discs that we had for Yishuin. Again, I don't think that these builds were good because in my opinion they're pretty bad. They're not even maxed out in like almost any of their aspects, so I was honestly quite impressed considering that, I don't know, we were running with maybe like half of a team build technically and we got 18k, and I was also playing not optimally because I low-key forgot how the boss works in Deadly Assault. Yeah, so I was very impressed. And we will move on to the next little segment, and I will see you guys in a few seconds. The only thing I guess I'm a little... I think what we might probably do is we'll probably run the Ye Shunguang into Dialyn into Lucia, and then team 2 with another Rupture is probably going to be... Actually, I believe Ye Shunguang is an attacker, but that's not the point. Dialyn works with... I guess I should say another reason why she's amazing, right? She can work not only with attackers, but with Rupture as well. So she's amazing for both of them. Let me pull out the mouse. So right here, attack or Rupture, and then it helps even more. So if you are in need of a stun character, I would highly recommend picking her up because that free ult on top of just being good for an attacker or a Rupture in general is just really helpful. I think that's actually about all I have to say for this video, though. It's just pretty much first impressions. Nothing too in-depth, honestly. One thing I did notice, holy moly, do I need to roll for an electric DPS, because Harumasa was working for me for a little while, but he genuinely just is not good enough anymore. I know he was a free character, but he's been power crept already, which is just kind of sad. But I think what I might do, I might either go for Ambi when she comes back, or Seed when she comes back. I tried for Yanagi, I lost her 50-50, so I just saved it for a different character that I needed more. I forget who it was. It was somebody that was, it was one of the supports that were just coming out that I kind of felt no reason to go for a DPS over her. But I do need another electric, so if they want to drop another one pretty soon, or rerun one of them here, I think we'll be good. One reason I say that is because, yes, I did 20k with the... which team was it? The Alice team? Or the summer, I call it the summer swimsuit team. 22k'd with that, which worked out for us well. But I like having one DPS of each element, and we don't have one of electric that works anymore. Because we got Alice and Jane as options. Obviously we'll have Ye Shunguang as well, so that'll be a third one. Fire, we have Evelyn, who's gonna work really well. Interesting, we don't actually have another real fire DPS. I mean, you could have an argument for Soldier 11 / Harin, but I don't have lighter. So if they wanted to give us another actual DPS that's fire, I'd be okay with it. Ice, we have Miyabi, so you know, don't really need another one. Plus, I'll probably vertically invest in her when she comes back, because I was thinking about it. I'm like, I should probably start vertically investing in these characters a little bit. At least to like M2, probably. For some reason in this game, I just really am bad about vertically investing. I just want to get for every new character. Maybe it's because it's only 3 characters you need, maybe plus an engine for your DPS, so it's not that big a deal. But Miyabi's there, so we don't really need anyone else. Ether, obviously we have Yushuan, and then we have... I kind of feel like they need to buff Zhu Yuan. I mean, mine didn't have the best build, but I can already... Even then, when I got her, I could tell she fell off just a little bit. But now she's pretty much... I think she might need buffs. It could be a skill issue on my part. Could be. But her kit's fairly simplistic, and it wasn't really doing that good for us. And then I already talked about electric, but we pretty much just need a good electric character for DPS, and we're pretty much set up for this account, and they should be able to clear, generally speaking, any deadly assault. But we'll have to see what happens from then on. We got a slight bit off topic, but that is what I have for you guys today for Zenless and the Dialyn First Impressions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will be, you know, covering her pretty soon. I probably will speedrun her to completion tomorrow. One thing I love about Zenless is it's very easy to just rush characters to completion. I guess that's another thing about Zenless, is that I tend to have a lot of... I used all of it, but I had like 2,000 something spare energy because I wasn't really playing. But this game needed to give me a reason to come back, because for a while now it was kind of just slow. But anywho, it does feel like it's a little easier to build characters in this game, like it's a little faster. But yeah, I will see all of you in the next video. Laters.